Yeah, not happy, I hate that word. I'm not interested in happiness, but that's my joy.
My shorts are 5–10 minutes out of people's lives, so usually, most of the time, you don't get a beginning, a middle, or an end. It's just, you know, a slice out of somebody's life.
My thing is not knowing, and I feel very happy there. Yeah, not happy, I hate that word. I'm not interested in happiness, but that's my joy. It's remarkable what people have inside them and their stories and everything. And one of the saddest things today is that people don't talk to old people anymore. Like you're talking to me now, like I'm supposed to be an old age pensioner. I remember my mum saying to me, why don't you draw something pleasant? You know, well, I'm not into that. You know, I don't know why I draw. Like, what in the hell why do you sit on your bum and draw? I mean, shit, I don't know. But it's just something you've got to do. And always, I started drawing when I'm on a downer. Yeah. It always is when I'm 100 miles under the sea. I think they're spirit drawings. Yeah. And you can't define the spirit because it's not man-made. We don't know bugger all about it, thank goodness. And I'm very interested in what I don't know. Like, I'm sick to death of people kind of with their knowledge and knowing, and my thing is not knowing. And I feel very happy there. Yeah, not happy, I hate that word. I'm not interested in happiness, but that's my joy. I was born in Sydney in 1930, so I'm a depression baby, you know, and kind of, and I think they call it autistic. Like, I couldn't read and write, you know. And I couldn't relate to other kids and everything and people. And so luckily we moved up to the bush. Funny enough, being in the bush with the animals, I started to come around. I already knew that I was going to be an artist, and already when I was about 14, Dad was kind of saying, no, at 17 you'll get married and have kids and all that shit. And I thought, no, I will not. And so rather than have arguments in the house and everything, when I was 14, I went out and started to work here in Melbourne in factories where they paid very well, and I put myself through dancing school. Mum said I span like a top, always. You know, I could dance to Salvation Army music, everything. You put on music, I'd dance to it. This is a very famous photograph, and it was taken in Paris in about 1955, and it's me kissing myself in the mirror. And it looks all very lovely, but I was going through a bad time then. I was hooked on opium smoking. I always moved with gypsies, like I moved with the Jungle Reinhardt family, you know, the famous musician. We were going between Paris and Belgium because always the cops were giving us a lot of trouble. It was very fascist after the war in France. And if you were a vagabond, well, I mean, they could take you in. I spent quite a bit of time in and out of prison. And so I often travelled with gypsies and I got on very well with them. Later on, we found this beautiful, kind of huge canyon on the Amalfi Coast. And I knew straight away that's my borough. And I said, I want that place, you know, rent it. I don't want to own anything, you know, never. And so then slowly I began to accumulate animals and protect all the animals there, the owls and everything. And there were very rare plants too, and little rare creatures. And so I've succeeded in, after many battles, in turning it into a wildlife oasis. And that's little Foxy there. That was the love of my life. I like all animals, but this one was my favourite. I used to work all night drawing, you know, and we'd go to sleep together, and she'd curl up in my hair here, and she was lovely. 14 years she was with me. She was lovely. And I've always had dogs around me. I mean, for me, like 30, 40 dogs is no big deal. If you can feed one dog, you can kind of look after 40. I never went looking for people. I'm not into that kind of thing. As a matter of fact, I always hang out with the wrong side of town. They're the kind of people I like. I don't like other artists particularly. I think they're a pain in the butt. And I like to sell to people who really like the work. I'm not interested in galleries and all that shit. I don't give a damn about being in a museum. It's like being buried alive. Who cares? This is kind of more like an Aboriginal feeling, because I have this strange feeling that most people born in Australia, or if you come here for a certain amount of time, you lose a sense of like, I've never cared about time. Like, I feel the same as what I did when I was a kid. Yeah. And I think a lot of Aussies have that, and that's why they're great travellers. Like, you meet them all over the place, and off they go for years, and you know, they're just kind of spacey, you know. This is a nice one, this little one. I call this one Sydney Sheila. Like when I was a kid here in the 40s, they used to call girls Sheilas. And so I called this one Sydney Sheila. A golden girl with a tiger lily in her hair, and I see her on a warm afternoon in a hotel somewhere in Sydney Harbour. Only the face of the little fox looking out from the locket around her neck warns, touch, but not too much. I don't think humans deserve anything special, you know. And here it says, man is born to sorrow as the sparks fly upward. You know, you really can't get away from it. And if you try to get away from sorrow and pain, I mean, you're going to fall into shit, or you're going to become awfully boring.